46 years I've been dealing with this.
I found out my problem was a real life problem about 5 years ago. I'm still very embarrassed to tell people the name of it because it sounds phony, Misophonia.
I didn't know it was a diagnosable affliction. I just thought it was an idiosyncrasy, something you could shake.
I ordered a book and reading on the internet about, they've discovered it's a real behavioral disorder.
As a stupid carpenter, it's above my pay grade, way above.
By the way, not a diagnosis. It's not in the DSM-5, it's not a mental illness, it's just a thing.
Right.
It is it's a real phenomenon. It does occur to a significant degree. It has a definition, and the definition is it's an abnormally strong negative reactions, annoyance and rage, to specific soft sounds, typically eating and breathing.
Do you, your child, or somebody you know hate chewing? What about tapping or whistling? This might be the condition misophonia, a neurophysiological disorder where sounds cause a fight-flight reaction. Sufferers of misophonia experience fear, anger, and emotional distress when faced with trigger sounds.
First, I want to suggest that you accept that this does exist. There is tons of literature saying it exists. There was a Delphi review, I think, in 2020 by Swedo that was funded by the Misophonia Fund. And what that stated was that misophonia is real, it's a real condition, and they did say that it had the characteristics of a disorder. And I do personally use the word disorder, but if you feel a social stigma toward the word disorder, it's totally cool not to use it. That's up to you.
Consensus definition of misophonia. Misophonia is a disorder of decreased tolerance to specific sounds or stimuli associated with such sounds. These stimuli, known as triggers, are experienced as unpleasant or distressing and tend to evoke strong negative emotional, physiological, and behavioral responses that are not seen in most other people. Misophonic responses do not seem to be elicited by the loudness of auditory stimuli, but rather by the specific pattern or meaning to an individual. Trigger stimuli are often repetitive and primarily, but not exclusively, include stimuli generated by another individual, especially those produced by the human body. Once a trigger stimulus is detected, individuals with misophonia may have difficulty distracting themselves from the stimulus and may experience suffering, distress, and/or impairment in social, occupational, or academic functioning. The expression of misophonic symptoms varies, as does the severity, which ranges from mild to severe impairments. Some individuals with misophonia are aware that their reactions to misophonic trigger stimuli are disproportionate to the circumstances. Misophonia symptoms are typically first observed in childhood or early adolescence.
The media and misophonia is a mess. What I mean by that is the media says whatever they want. Dr. Phil, Kathy Lee and Hoda, all of these people are saying nasty things about misophonia. For what reason? I'm not sure.
Well, one thing that I realized, and I'm actually, one of the early things that she told me was that I was a good eater. And I went, oh, good. Yeah, I generally keep my mouth closed, and it's a good thing.
Oh, I see, courteous eater. Right,
yes,
yeah.
Exactly. But, I eat horrible things for my body, right. But I keep my mouth closed while I eat them. But it turns out that she was telling me that because she has this thing called misophonia. I don't know if anybody's heard of misophonia, but it's a, yeah. But for the rest of us, I'll explain. So here's, this sound that is misophonia, people close your ears. It's just this sound. That sound is gross. You don't really want to hear. Yeah. Misophonia, people hear that like 20 times louder than you do, and it drives them insane.
Do you really think they are hearing it louder than we do, or they just can't tolerate even the smallest annoyance?
I don't know, but it'll turn a person who has misophonia off. Like they're just blank stare and inner rage if they hear that.
So your wife does this?
So for the most part. I didn't see it, and I went around thinking I was a good eater. There was one time where I was eating cereal, and I guess on not a good cereal eater. I found
No one
out.
is, really.
She kept on, she was like this. And then she kept on going, I'm going to just get a drink of water and getting out. I was like, what's going on?
What do you do if you go to like dinner or, God forbid, you order soup?
No, I had soup and ramen and all that is just right out.
Nothing liquid, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm fine, but I'll see her, we'll be eating, and all of a sudden she'll just go, and I'll go, what happened? She's like, there's a bad eater. Like, it's, she can hear it across the restaurant.
Wow.
It's like a superpower. That
In a
just
way,
drives you
it's like
insane.
a really worthless superpower. Like, if she were like a detective or something, maybe it could be applied to, like, help solve crimes or something. But really, it's doing nothing but driving her crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's nothing she can do about it.
There's nothing she can do about it. So gum chewing is really tough for people who have misophonia.
Wow.
We just keep our mouth closed generally, and we don't bother our misophonia sufferers that are among us.
At that kiss the bride moment.
Celebrities who have said they have misophonia include Kelly Ripa, Kelly Osbourne, Melanie Linsky, who actually has come out and said she has misophonia, but Jason Ritter, her partner, has actually confirmed this on a late night show, and they have been absolutely lovely about the condition. And I think they are great, wonderful people, and I'm sorry that they have to deal with this disorder because as a married person with misophonia, I know it sucks. But other uses of misophonia in the media have been getting more popular, such as shows like Criminal Minds, Dear White People, and I'm sure these examples are going to grow and grow.
When does the constant drone of flip-flops become background noise? My misophonia is triggered as
Oh, misophonia, she does braids out of Waller, right?
Look at you making jokes. It's a hearing condition and also a great name for an outcast fellow.
Especially since misophonia has been in lots of popular press. We're talking the New York Times, HuffPost, Thought Catalog. Oh my God. The Observer. These are articles that people are reading. And they're not always right. They're getting better. But there is a huge segment of misophonia content that says things like, misophonia is chewing rage. Misophonia is blah, blah, blah. But that's not really based in reality or research. What misophonia actually is, in my opinion, is a condition that is harming the people who are suffering from it. And when you have people on television who are saying things about misophonia that are untrue or not based on reality or research, this can hurt the people with the disorder. The number one thing people often tell me when they first hear that they have misophonia is, I searched it online on the computer and I realized, oh my God, this is a real condition. I'm not crazy. But what happens if these people search the disorder and what they see is media saying, haha, you are crazy. Why? Why are you having this reaction to sounds? You're nuts. Isn't that funny? Oh my God, mildly interesting fact. Did you know that there's people that are tortured by sounds? Great. It's hilarious. Our distress is not something to laugh about. But because misophonia is new, there's not enough information about the disorder, and people don't really know what it is. They might not know that there are several people, maybe people in their own lives, that are terrified to tell them that the condition exists. They might even be afraid that people might use these trigger sounds against them. For example, these sounds are so normal and so common that it would be really easy to use them against a person with misophonia. For example, common triggers are whistling, chewing, tapping, sneezing, pen clicking. You know where there's pens? Everywhere. You know where people eat? Everywhere. People now even chew gum at workplaces, and the amount of triggers that we are facing are more common today than they might have ever been. I know one thing. If I had chewed gum in class in elementary school, I would have been in big trouble. I'm not saying these changes are bad. They are helpful for people with other disorders like autism or ADHD, people who need to stimulate and have sensory input. Those people need these things, but people with misophonia need the opposite, which is exhausting. And I feel for you if you have a partner or a family member that has two opposites, one person with misophonia, one with, say, ADHD and a need for stimulation. they don't always go well together, especially if someone likes to bounce their legs or tap their feet or their fingers or trill their nails across a table. I'm not going to make these sounds because I know people with misophonia will watch this documentary and I don't want to do that.